reveal my secret to you because you have a couple of lessons to get ready for this. But my theory is, if you can't teach them anything, get them tired. So.
Exactly. I like that. This is what I have her do. I have to go.
Yeah.
I've got to go.
Exactly. All right, good. And back to trot. Good. Now let the reins be longer. Push them on. And what we want to do is not have them go on loose reins, but we want them to go to the reins. Okay? Push them on. Tap them with the whip. Tap them again. So keep a light contact and circle in this end. Keep your hands together. That's right. That's better. And now, when you want to walk, sit down and push them through from your lower back and your hips and walk. Good. Now come over here. All right. So far, you've done everything I want, and you can stay. All right. Now there's other stuff we need to say to them. First, you got to get them going, and that's starting to happen. And then you have to administer very specific kinds of advice to him. Not just, like you click the switch and he just somewhere. But it's now you have to ride the back end into your hand and make a reaction, get him to change his outline and change his balance and things. And that's like very goal-directed, specific information you give. So he's going forward at the moment, and that's one big plus, but that's only the first plus. And now, two more things have to happen. One is we have to be able to have him move right off your leg exactly when you want, and bring him back exactly when you want. And that's just making real simple transitions as a building block to the next thing will happen. And then the next thing is, as you ride him around, it's not just like, you pour water and it just kind of takes care of itself, but it's more like your leg says, step under and give in. Step under, yield your jaw. And it's this back and forth discussion you have with him that shapes him, so that he has a top line and he starts to use his back. But he can only do that if he's way more interested in what you have to say, and what you have to say is much more articulate. Okay? Right now, your message is sort of generalized haze, and now you can be a little bit more, hey, good boy, hey, Thor, are you Thor yet? This is my shoulder, Thor. Dust is coming out of it. First it's winter, so, all right, walk on. Walk the circle to the right.
Christina, is this sounding familiar? Does this sound familiar? Yes, but...
That's why she invited me. If I was going to come in and say totally different stuff, she wouldn't have me come. Face it.
But I need them to hear it from you.
The reason I'm here is so that you'll say, Jesus, Stacy must actually know what she's talking about. Because here's somebody who came on an airplane and he's saying the same damn stuff she says all the time. Right?
So do it, Christina.
All right, so now, make him walk around the circle with the front end on a littler circle than the back end. So step by step, turn him in, push him sideways, make a half hold, send him forward, over and over and over. And if it's not quite working, you're allowed to use, compared to what you are using, you're allowed to use a little more violent leg. Because you have sort of a noodle leg. Okay? Right. That was more than that, but Stacy said, oh God, keep your elbows bent. Right? You were.
I do.
Yes, you was. Yeah. All right. Now, don't bend his neck so much, just angle his body. So that means what you do with your outside edge. Let's put the whip in the right hand for the moment. The good news was you didn't stab yourself. But, all right. So keep him angled. Now do it step by step. So push, catch, right leg, left raise, right leg, left raise, right leg, left raise. There. Now do that and let your outside leg, as you use your outside raise, shake them a little forward and down, and you'll start to give in. Have him that energetic, but not that fast. Okay? Angle more. Yes. Bigger half vault. Do what you're doing. You're getting so close to something good happening. I can, my heart's getting a little pitter-pattery. Yeah. All right, yeah. Yes, good. Do it. Right. Yes, come on. This is like where language starts, okay? Yeah. Have a little more feel of the outside rein through your elbow, so that so he has reason to get into you. Make a perfect surface so you're not rolling around. So you teach ballet? First position, second position, third position, fourth, never mind. All right, now do what you're doing, but make it look to the outside.
That was impressive.
All right, just wait.
I do believe fourth is this, though, and this is fifth.
Oh, well.
I took
Whatever.
only one.
So
We're
there you go.
very close.
All right. All right, now what I want you to do, though, is keep the front end in while you bend them the wrong way. So I don't want you to counter leg heel like this.
Isn't it cold?
You never close your eyes. Yes. All right. All right, so go back to what you were doing, since this isn't quite happening. You could probably go around to farms and claim you were doing ultrasounds, but just have these little Polaroids you passed out, and you can make a lot of money. Like, oh, here, it's right here on the tendon. Mm-hmm.
I gotta go get my horse fed, so.
All right, well,
So I'm gonna get a good report.
it better be good, otherwise. All right, now, just for a minute, whatever you're doing, do it 3 times stronger, including your leg. That's 3 times? Oh, come on. Flex him in a little, yield him around. Take your feet out of the stirrups and let your legs be womanly. Hear you roar. Wake him up with your leg. Right, and take a little feel of him on the outside. Essentially, do it until something happens. When it's not happening, then do something more. Angle him, forehand in. That, yeah, do that. That's great. Massage his right jaw. Yes, fine. Yes. Muy bien. Right? Keep asking. Yeah, good. That's the idea. Now, let's do that a little bit in sitting trot. It can be a slow sitting trot for the moment, but keep him connected, keep him round. Make him a believer. Elbows bent, massagey jaw, trot when you're ready. Every step, elbows bent. Yeah, push him down a little bit. Don't go faster. When you need to rest, tell me and we'll take a vote here. Okay? Converse with his outside jaw so you're not just stuck in your arm. And do you know this woman?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Is she the person of opposite sex sharing living quarters?
My wife, yes, she is.
Aha! There you go. That explains everything. All right. Do more. Come on. Try a little bump with your outer leg. And just tell him, no, I don't want you to canter. I want you to give in. Massage his right jaw. Push him through. Angle him. Remember, we're doing that the whole time. What I want right now is to see what your legs are doing. Yeah, because I want him to notice, right? Push him forward, don't run into the wall. Get points off for breaking the wall. Outside aids. Yeah, do it, come on. You get to rest soon. Elbows, yeah. Yeah, you get to rest in 35 minutes. Keep trying. When you get out by X, circle the same size the other way. Out to the left. Right elbow contact, push him through, ask him to give. Stay on that circle, make your circle touch in the middle here. So it's not like back over here, but it's that circle. Okay? Elbows. Push him through to the rein and ask him to give in his jaw. Wake him up a little more, but don't go faster. So when you wake him up, it's like pushing him through so he gets in that circle over there. Yeah. Move the circle down that way, away from me. All right, now we're on the right track, and we need to amplify this whole thing a lot. We get it to give more and to get soft. Come to the right way over this direction. And bend him and push him through. Push him through, make him give. Use your legs. Thump. Harder. Thump. Make a half hold. Thump. Thump. Thump, thump, thump. Outside leg. Fix your right wrist. And walk a minute. And rest. All right, now, good things are starting to happen. And then there's sort of the whole walk, right? Good. In a certain way, he doesn't take you very seriously. And you need to be, you can be impressive and you can be an authority figure without being at all mean or unkind. But you have to make sure that he knows what you want, which he doesn't always, and you have to be sure that he cares about what you want. That definitely is amazing. So it's not that you need to end up riding with big aids all the time, but you kind of have to say to him, hey, yo, sit up and pay attention. And then, as he does what he's supposed to do, and you push him through to where he gives in, then your aids become milder and softer, and there are more periods of allowing, permitting him to do what you've shown him to do with little reminders, rather than having to be on his case so much, because he basically has decided to believe you. All right? But it doesn't do any good if you let him develop a history of thinking that he doesn't really have to, or it doesn't matter, or a little bit of a loaf, a few crumbs is enough.
I guess I'm scared that I'll be giving him something that's confusing him and
You are confusing him. You're already confusing him, so at least confuse him in an interesting way. Right? It's no problem. Stand still a second. Let's be real. The wonderful thing about horses is, unless you did something horribly mean, anything you do you can undo. And they're really patient, and they're really creatures of habit. And you know, I wrote about one of the famous 20th century dressage philosophers, Eldridge Cleaver. Remember Brother Eldridge? He was a Black Panther back in the 60s, so radical. And he said, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Okay? And so if you ride around thinking, oh, I don't want to confuse him, I better not tell him too much, I think I'll just sort of flutter around with my aids and not really say much of anything. Well, that's sure confusing, isn't it? And my theory about training horses in general is they have about the intellect of 5-year-old boys, all right? They have not much attention span. You have to be really clear to them and really obvious, because if you've ever dealt with 5-year-old boys, irony and, you know, that doesn't go over too well. It's like, tell them what you mean, okay? And reward them a lot. But that means you have to get them to do something that's worth rewarding. You can't just give them peppermints. You have to give them rewards for doing what you want. And that's not the speech of certain riders. There's one woman out west that I can think of some others scattered around, but specific people that when I look at them ride, I sort of go, no, too much, don't do that, that's such a bad attitude. And they're not even thinking they're being mean, but they're not giving their horses a chance, okay? They're like overly assertive, overly aggressive, sort of grinding them around. And it's kind of hard to persuade them not to, although eventually they have to learn, because it's part of their personality. But I don't see that, I don't look at that as like much of a risk with you. No, I think you're, yeah.
And it feels like I'm really pulling on the rein. It just, I mean, no.
Yeah, well, okay, so in a certain sense, if we define it in terms of weight in the rein, the answer is yes, kind of. Except pulling in riding is something else. So let's
Well, wait, anyway.
yeah, here's the deal. All right, you be the horse. No, it's all right. No, you better be scared. Come back here. I'll be nice to you, I promise. All right, so here. Now, you're the horse, so give me some slack. Hang on still, go move your hand. All right, now if I do this, I'm pulling. Right, now release your hand. Okay, as soon as you released, I didn't keep pulling back. Okay, so what I was doing there was making a resistance. Now, if you give and I'm still pulling the same amount, or if I'm trying to pull him in, then we don't want to do that. But there are horses, and this is one, who has sort of an expectation of trotting around like a wood ornament. Right? And so if I take a little feel of him and I say to him, wouldn't you please consider giving in? It'll be so much better for all of us. And I ask him to give. I have to put a little weight there for him to decide that it's to his benefit to soften up. And I'm looking as much to reward him as I am to hold him. I'm putting some pressure so that he'll feel a difference when there's not pressure.
So I'm not going to have that same pressure all the time.
Oh, no, not for sure. Now I'll sit on it, okay? Let me hop on there for a minute, okay? You will have to get off. Because your husband's here and all. Let's just pretend I'm wearing it. I have one, but it's at home.
You could probably find one around here that would
That's
fit
all.
you.
I don't want to mess up my computer. However, spurs would be a nice idea for this thing. That's a giant mounting block for such a little horse. Can you lower the stirrup some holes?
Okay.
Start on the other side. Put them down, put them down 5 from where they are.
What? Okay.
I wonder if it's the little spot where it's because of the backside. The horse is just, I'm just watching how he's responding to that.
I'm particularly scared of horses. They know.
Oh.
And his last rider rode with spurs. I'm not terribly comfortable with that.
That's right, you don't have to. All right, so. legs so I create enough pressure through the hose that something is coming out at the nozzle end, which we'll call the pole. So if I take hold of them and pull them together, that's bad news. Right now my contact is present but fairly soft, and my legs are relatively assertive. And then when he wanted to trot away, I got in his way a little bit. But I wanted to understand that he has to be alert to the driving aids in real time, so that then I can start to talk to him about his jaw and ask him to find a lower, rounder shape that can be consistent, that I can push him through to the air. I wanted to know when I add the leg, he gives in. Right now he's not heavy at all, okay? But I don't mind being a little firm for moments at a time. If you're firm for an extended period of time, probably you're getting in his way and discouraging him.